Ugandans, fellow globalists, because now I'm a Ugandan, but I'm talking to the globe now. I'm talking about Africa, about the West, East, Middle East, and the West of this entire globe. The title of this wonderful prophecy, or call it a prophecy, call it an insight, is entitled America at War. Friends, 2016, I got a dream. But it's another thing to see or get a dream, but it's also another thing to see the dream, each part of the dream coming to fruition. We've been talking about, Georgia and I, on our live broadcasts on Facebook and YouTube. We've been talking about spiritual over heavenly intelligence. That heavenly intelligence is all about sharing the heart of God, but hearing from God undiluted and share it to the people. And in that we also saw that nothing can happen on earth, nothing that God will allow to happen until he reveals it to his faithful people, especially the prophets, the pastors, the leaders, maybe lay people who are connected to God, in God. 2016, I saw a dream. I'm not an American, and I'll never be an American. I don't think even if I get a status, I can accept it. But God showed me a dream about 2 countries or 3 countries, America, UK, and China, in this dream. Briefly, the dream was, I saw myself in UK, in the dream. And in UK, I have a friend called Jen Sylvain. He's a ministry partner. In the dream, she happened to have hosted Donald Trump in a house which was semi-detached. And there were 2 houses, I still remember, number 7 and number 8. And then she said, hey, John, guess what? In the dream, Donald Trump is here. Would you like to meet him? I said, yeah, in a dream. I had not heard about Donald Trump. Of course, I heard about somebody standing in for presidency, or a rich guy standing for president. And I was one of the guys that really said, that one can't beat anyone. The way he was speaking, non-political, political correctness has no place in his vocabulary. He says whatever he wants to say anyhow. That can't apply the voter diocese. But anyway, in the dream, she opened up the room. I saw Donald Trump. Guess what? Very jovial. As you see him now, jovial. He speaks with I don't want to use any word, but just free guy. Throws words like sports jabs, like boxing jabs, without any fear or resentment. And he said, hey, John. But the whole of his neck was full of blood. I was scared, but it didn't seem to care. The blood. When you see blood, everybody has to even whether it's a dream or a reality, a dream will always scare you, especially when it involves blood. But for him, he didn't seem to care. Blood was all over the neck. The neck was not cut off, but it had some round cut. Then, all of a sudden, I was wondering, how is the president of the nation just be in the house, especially America, without security? As you know, dreams, my dream flipped, and then I went outside. When I went outside, then I saw him, he was seated on the chair. As he was seated on the chair, again I saw security come, helicopters and all, black cars and all that. I think they had come to pick him. But someone came while he was seated on the chair, pulled his leg, the right leg. He pulled off his leg, the right one, and he went only with the leg, but didn't go with the thigh. So he wanted to remove him from the chair, but instead of Trump getting out of the chair, he lost his left leg. So I could see this part of the thigh, very red. And all of a sudden that disappeared. The Trump issue stopped. Then, as you know, dreams, 3 in 1. Then I saw myriads, not millions, not trillions, but myriads of people. To the extent that when that dream was almost coming to an end, it were like people were packed to each other that you could not even move like this. Then my instinct told me that Jesus is coming back. I started crying, remembering two things. My children, I'm not with my children. And the most worrying thing was that my daughter, Priscilla, was in China. So I started crying. Can't see my daughter anymore, because you couldn't move if that situation found you like this, you stay like that. Okay? So this happened again. And I started seeing funny creatures in the air, throwing arrows. One arrow almost hit me, and I woke up. So when I woke up, this is the interpretation of the dream. And I said, Lord, what is number 7? God told me number 7, 7 and 8. 7 is completion. 8 is new beginning. 7 is completion, rest. And 8 is new beginning. And Trump was between number 7 and number 8. He was number 8. And the Lord told me, the the time of the church is soon coming to an end. The church has been here for 2020 years since Jesus left. We once had the prophetic time, we had the Jesus time, the gospel time, the church time, and now this is where we have been since the apostles left. So the church is almost completing its purpose. But before the church goes, there will be a persecution. And that persecution that is going to, in fact, the first part of the persecution is going to usher in revival. And in the midst of revival is going to be the second coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. And I said, why is Trump number 8? He says, Trump as a president. I said, why a leader? Why have you shown me the leader? And the Lord told me, right from the Bible, I've been changing times and seasons through political leadership. And then he reminded me of Darius, King Ahasuerus, King Cyrus, and all the kings in the dream, the 4 empires in the dream of Daniel. Then the Lord told me that I have always moved with my cycle has always moved with times with the presidency of the kings. So the coming in of Trump is another sign of a new clock. There's a turning of a clock. This time, the Lord told me that number 8 is a new beginning. Between the close of the church age, and between that gap and number 8, God told me we are entering an era of one of the major world gospel and revival that's going to sweep across the world. But the coming of Trump wasn't his choice. That he brought him for a purpose. Number 1, to step on the humanistic agenda, the one world government agenda, the one world government, one religion agenda. I believe those people who are watching me now, if you're intelligent enough, you can study or Google these things. Already now, the system has already been developed. Some of the pandemics and all sorts of things have been geared to take us to that level whereby we are taken to a moment where people are helpless, they are under lockdown, and they will be forced to do certain things of whatever they've been talking about, vaccination and whatever. So that's a moment when everybody will be hungry to be free, and that freedom will come. I mean, people can be only free when they fulfill some of the agendas of those that brought these catastrophes. And then they told me the coming of Trump is going to be a period of 8 years. That's when I remember that the presidents of America, they always say they have a term of 4 years. 4 years. And they told me, hey, Trump will be able to finish his 8 years of presidency. But in his 8 years, his purpose will be to reverse, to pull back the strings of the globalists and the global agenda. That's it. I said, wow. He said, yeah, because if it was not for me, God, to bring Trump, the church would have been caught unaware. Today we are in lockdown. Churches are locked down, everything. It has never happened before. But there's a lockdown that will come. Many laws are going to be coming in the next 8 years. They will be coming to, forcing Christianity, to mingle with other religions, forcing us to worship one God, forcing us to subscribe to one world leader. These things are coming. Daniel spoke about it. Moses spoke. Even John spoke about it, and many others. But now we live in the age. We're not living off age or under age. We are in the age of this. That's why I feel to bring this message at this time at 9 o'clock today, so that everybody will know. And I will bring this every day. This time this week at 9 p.m. our time in Uganda, I'll be putting this broadcast live. Today I'm doing it live, but I will be putting it on and on so people to understand. So, and the Lord told me that between the presidents of Trump, and this is the 2016 before he was elected, that he's going to be used by me to reverse all the laws that were against the church. He's going to turn all the anti-God laws. He's going to issue directives of what they call executive orders to reverse everything that is anti-God. And I said, now the church, and then I told God, what should we do as a church? And the Lord told me, church should stop playing politics. Church should now begin to work as one body, not Catholic, not Anglican, not Pentecostal, Evangelical, as a Christian, not as a denomination. God is going to be tearing down denomination. Before they build one denomination, the next 5, 6 years that are coming, denominations are going to be crumbling because Jesus is tired of denominations. When Jesus died on the cross, one thing that happened, apart from the breaking of the walls, of the graves and whatever, the earthquake, it was the tearing of the middle wall from top to bottom, And even that is what is going to happen before Christ comes. The Lord himself is going to shake the church. That's why the church has been under lockdown, to revive it, to revamp it, to rejuvenate it, to empower it in the season of King Silas, who is Trump. Trump is hated everywhere. I'm young now, I'm about 50 plus, but I've never seen a president of a nation, especially in developed countries where there's democracy, a man that has been under pressure from all angles. And now, I was asking God, what should the church do? We should now focus on evangelism, soul winning, discipleship. And this is what's happening. It's no longer gathering many people. It's about now doing advanced groups and taking people to the gospel and preaching to them and sharing with them the gospel of the kingdom. And also discipling, not making them Catholics, Protestants, Pentecostals, no, making people ready for the second coming because Jesus is coming. Yes, the Antichrist will not come at this season, but the preparations of the stage of the Antichrist is already staged. Let me say this. That major tribulation, you and I will not face it. We shall have the first pains of the tribulations. We shall see the initiation and smell the initiation of the New World Order, New World Government, and New World Religion. And already it was already in place. If you want to Google those things, they're already everywhere on the internet. Thank God for the social media. So, now, the church has a small gap created by the coming of Trump. Trump even didn't know what he is doing. When you look at Trump's life, he's being a rich man, they do a lot of things. He's not the perfect man that had to be used for this cause. When I posted this on my Facebook, people started condemning me. Hey, John, you are considering about somebody's neighbors something, and then you forget Uganda. This is not about Uganda now. What is happening now? Uganda has no place. What is happening now is one country that has remained with the light. When you look at Europe, light has been darkened. When you look in Asia, light is down. Light is almost in a few continents. America has been still on the forefront, despite the fact that there are so many wrong things in America. But America has been the sole winning country in terms of supporting the gospel, in terms of human rights, and all sorts of things. But now, they want to turn this country into something else. So, and as this world government is coming, it's coming with socialism and communism. It's spreading places where they never wanted communism and socialism. They are beginning to embrace it because of the preparation. Because in that kind of governance, people can equally be shared with things, of course, but control of state, whatever, control of property and all that, because if somebody controls your money, controls your food, then they can do whatever they do with your life. You can eat very well, but when your money is not yours, your property is not yours, that's where we are going. And I asked God, what is the significance of him being pulled out of the chair in the dream? The Lord told me Hey, in fact, that one I did not know it until these times when they put these issues of about Russia collusion and many other things. And they all told me that they are going to try their level best to pull him. They are going to weaken because the right leg represents power. They will kind of weaken his operations, but still he will not come out of power. They will try to weaken his and demolish his operation. That's why the left leg had trouble. And the Bible, and when in the dream I could not see him being removed out of chair. I could see the leg pulled off. By the time Trump finishes his assignment, he will be a little bit weak because there will be a lot of battles and whatever it is. Now, lastly, what happened recently when the blood issue? The Lord told me that nation is not known for shedding blood. Maybe it has fought wars abroad, but in America it's been minimal. But now the Lord told me that He's going to reign through blood. I was wondering, during the time of Trump, there has not been so much blood in the Middle East like other previous presidents. Then the Lord told me, no, it's going to be in America, because the enemy is going to fight to make sure that his presidency does not survive. You know, when you see blood, because life is the blood, it's a sign of life coming out. They're gonna try to suck his life out. And it's not just that they're fighting for democracy. Yehu. They're not fighting for democracy. They're not fighting for equality or racial justice, but there's something behind all this. Not to pull Trump, not even Trump. There is a Spirit of God reigning now, taking control, to allow the church to stop playing, because the church has been playing so much, compromising everywhere, both from America and Africa and everywhere. We've been so much compromised. So now God is using this moment and this time, brothers and sisters, to a church to rise up, the church to disciple and preach the gospel. Then, lastly, what happened just recently, brothers and sisters? What happened? Sorry for this. What has just happened with George Floyd, should never happen anymore, or anywhere in the country. When the man just knelt on the guy's neck to suck his life out. That was bad. And indeed, every type of life matters. Brown, black, red blood, or black life, brown life, yellow life matters. Nobody should be esteemed above the other. But this incident also, on the other side of the good part of it, it was also hijacked and taken over with the globalist agenda people to use it again to fight the presidency. One of the signs that shows this is the attack on the grandfather and the forefathers of America. Abraham Lincoln is a guy who was, widely used by God to abolish slave trade. Roosevelt, all those guys that had the foundation. Now, it's an attack on the foundations of America. So now, it's no longer an issue of social justice. It's so much more other things are in there. So many other groups jumped on this noble cause. The noble cause of announcing Black Lives Matters also was hijacked by something else. Of course, first it was Russia, whatever, and then secondly it was Russia collusion, maybe then there was this many other things, and then there was this coronavirus also bringing this strong nation coming down, crumbling like stones, and now the last one, this one, and it's not even the last one, there's still many things coming. That is the blood I saw, that during the presidency of Trump, there's going to be a kind of blood, blood in terms of Russia collusion, blood in terms of issues like coronavirus. Many people have died to weaken the presidency. Thank God. In this dream, there was UK, there was China, and that's what's happening today. UK came out of European Union. That was also another sign. The two countries, US and UK, coming out of European Union is a sign of also of obtaining the church to have group, because when the one world government is going to take place, it's going to take its headquarters is going to be in Europe. So the coming out of Europe, the coming out of UK out of Europe is also another sign of weakening the globalist agenda and globalist agenda, and also and one world agenda for a season. But of course, UK will go back after some time, and also United States shall be taken over back by globalists. They will take over it, but not now. As I summarize today, whatever you see in America today is a war. All the enemies of America are rejoicing. And you know why? America has been used, still used by God, to advance the gospel, support the gospel, but also major headquarters of the nations of the world are there because of peace. So the peace want to be disrupted, to be transferred to other place. Now, the governance says that these people used to talk against, now they are embracing communism, socialism. So one other thing I want to say, guys, the dream I had is real now. The blood over his neck and his leg, they're removing him from the chair, but he could not get out of the chair. As I finish, as a prophet of God, God shows you ranging from politics and from, social and science, all that sorts of things. God is calling us, the church, to stand. Stand and fight. Fight and love one another. Pray for one another. Churches begin to disciple people for the kingdom of God, because Jesus is coming back soon. But before he comes back, there's a season which is now about 4 years to come. A major revival is coming through the presidency of this man. And you know what? When President Trump came to power, most of the executive orders he has ordered were so much about pro-God. Reversing the abortion, whatever, reversing everything that was against God. And those guys are going to come back again after 4 years. They're going to come back. By the time they come back, they're going to come back with fury. You remember how one of the guys toward a speech, in a developed and democratic country, such things happened, and nobody could be ashamed, because it's not anybody in the Senate or in the Republican or House of Representatives or whatever. It is the enemy. It's the battle between God and the devil. You remember the fight between Holyfield? Those who are old enough like me, Holyfield and Tyson, that first fight was between two gods, Allah and Jehovah. And this battle now is not the battle of the racial justice. It's not a battle of, inequality, whatever. It's a battle to dethrone the plans that God has for this. The revival is coming right now. The glory of God is shining. The Bible says, Isaiah 60 says, arise, shine. Your glory and your light has come. Darkness shall cover over the face of the water, but you shall rise up. As you rise up tonight, pray. Seek the Lord. Don't be political. Be spiritual. Be spiritual enough to see what is happening in the political world. Somebody might blame me by this gospel, the message I've brought is political, whatever, or partisan, whatever. Hey, men like Daniel, a man who was so much spiritual, served in the governance, in a government which was governed by people who was witchcraft, but he was a guy who could see major world empires to death. Daniel saw politics evolving up to our times of the toys, between the toys, this combination of of clay and iron. That's where we are today. He is a man who saw everything. Thank God for your heavenly intelligence. I'm alert, still alert. I needed to share these. Maybe you understood my accent, or you didn't understand my accent. God bless you. The season where we are, it's not time to joke. Sawa yonobulamu bugenda. Ekiseera kyonna Yesu ajja. Naye temutya Antichrist kuba tagenda tulumba kakati. Enjiri, Bible says, and this gospel must be preached. And this is the season where we are going now. Through media and social media, the gospel has been preached. But there's a major revival that's going to bring miracles, signs and wonders. Leave alone these miracles, somebody falling down, a lame man walking, but still limping. No. The miracles, greater miracles are coming that are going to scare the world. But after that, Jesus will take his church. After he has taken this church, you know what is going to happen? The fool's blast and operation and manifestation of Antichrist is going to remain and take operation and take presence in the world after we have left. But those that will remain, they're going to fight it through by their own blood, not by the Holy Spirit. Because by the time Jesus takes us, we'll go with the Holy Spirit for 1,000 years before we come back. Brothers and sisters, God speaks through dreams and visions. And I've been seeing this dream literally coming to pass. This is not the first time God shows me issues about nations. At one time, God showed me issues about our president and his current governance. He's always showed me. Recently, God showed us something about with Bishop Mbagaya and Pastor Sonny. He showed us something about Malawi. And we had to fly to Malawi to pray for that president. And you saw how our brother Chikwea, Lazarus, Doctor, Pastor, were going through. So we're in the season of the prophetic. Not the prophetic that seek to prophesy, to receive money, to prophesy, to get a car or favors from government. The prophecy that will usher in the coming of Jesus. Where we are today, some of us are not interested about money, property, anything, because our lives are at stake if we don't do the word of God. Paul says, woe unto me if you don't share the gospel. Woe unto me if I don't share the gospel. Woe unto me if I keep quiet. This evening, I had to tell my boys at home, say, hey, I feel something. I need to speak it out. And I told Jehu and Mike, hey, get me a mic, get me I wasn't prepared for this, but I know God was prompting me to say this. Jeremiah said, I feel fire in my heart. If I keep quiet, I feel my bones burning. We are going. Any season, any time, something's going. This world is not ours. Let us say like Moses. Moses said, and the Lord told Moses in chapter 33 of Exodus, that you go, I will not go with you. Go to the land that flows with milk and honey. And Moses said, no, if you don't go with us, money, land, ammunitions, don't do any moment. They don't help anything. If you don't go with us, we won't go. Tonight, before you sleep, praise the Lord. Your prayer should be in Exodus chapter 33, from verse 1 up to 13. Lord, if your presence don't go with us, don't take us out of this place. It's not about Obama. It's not about China. It's not about England, whatever, or 7, whatever. It's about the timeline. Remember, politics and church has already been working together. Priests and prophets were always together. So God bless you. Thank you. See you. The whole of this today I just did it live, but we'll be putting on this broadcast every 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. I'll be bringing back, replaying this message again. God bless you. Thank you very much. God bless you. We'll see you at lunch hour tomorrow and evening special. God bless you.